Want to welcome everybody who's joined us this evening for the October Cub Scout Roundtable. We're just going to give it a few more minutes to see if anybody else is going to be joining us tonight, and then we will get started. In the meantime, if anybody has any questions along the way, please use the Q&A feature on the webinar as opposed to the chat. This way here, the panelists can be sure to address your questions. And again, we'll start just in a few minutes. Thank you. Okay, we're going to get started with the roundtable as we prepare for October here. So I want to welcome you all for attending this evening. And to start things off tonight, we're going to start with our opening. So I want to, again, welcome everybody who is in attendance tonight. And again, for those who are having questions or whatnot, please use the Q&A as opposed to using the chat feature. So this way here we can make sure things are addressed in a timely manner with questions you might have. So to start things off, we're going to start with the opening. So we're going to start with the prayer. So if you could put yourself in a place of reflection and prayer and prepare, please. You are a God who places great potential in your smallest creation. From the acorn that becomes the seasoned and mighty oak tree, we too are being drawn into your own maturity. Let us be renewed in the seasons of prosperity and steadfast of seasons of drought. Let us learn from the past pain how to experience joy in the present. Let us understand how failed relationships yesterday help us to endure in hope for friendships today and tomorrow. Let us grow tall and in singular purpose to stand with integrity, determination, and character in the created order of things. Allow us to be flexible in the wind, but rooted in the earth. O God of acorns and the mighty oak, amen. So if you'll please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Scout salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If we'll do the Scout oath, Scout sign. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to guide my country and to obey the Scout law to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. 2, so we're going to be moving into some hot topics this evening. So we're going to have a couple of people speaking on particular topics of importance for this month, as opposed to a video. And we're going to start things off talking about the recharter process, which hopefully all our unit leaders have received at the start of this month, the information for that. So talking about recharter and Journey to Excellence, we can have Mr. Paul Schofield, our Council Commissioner. Paul?
Great, thanks Adrian, and good evening everyone. Thanks again for tuning in tonight with our virtual roundtable. As Adrian said, we're in the recharter season, which is our favorite season of the scouting year outside of recruiting. So your key 3 of every unit should have received your rechartering email on October 3rd. If you haven't received it yet, please definitely check your spam folders or some other inboxes to make sure one of your key 3 people of your unit, that's your committee chair, your Cub Master, or your chartered organizational representative, received that email. So that's where you get all the information to sign into the online chartering system, and explains the process for this year, along with a lot of great links on our council website to the different manuals and help sessions that can help you along. So to date, we've actually had 28 units already sign up into the system. So that's great news. We like to encourage that, continue doing that, just so that we can help monitor to make sure you can get access to the system. So some important changes for this year. First off is the charter turn-in date. We moved up a few weeks, so it's November 21st this year. And that main reason really is because we'd like to get all our charters and paperwork in before the holiday season hits. So not only you and your families and your units can enjoy the holidays, but also all of our professional staff and commissioners and volunteers that have to go through and process your paperwork once you turn it in. So new this year, with that, we're offering, again, the charter turn-in date on November 21st. There's information on the council website where you can sign up for those time slots. We are encouraging and actually asking everyone to sign up for a time slot this year. Again, with our COVID situation, we'd like to limit our contacts in person with people gathering in groups at the different areas for the charter turn-in. But something new this year, we are offering contactless charter turn-ins, so you can sign up for a time to meet with your district executive or unit service coordinator virtually, so you can go through, turn in the charter process, and then follow up with hard copies afterwards. So that process is all outlined in the unit charter handbook in the link in that email. Also, we're offering virtual help sessions this year, so you can sign up at any time from now, through the rechartering date, to set up a time slot with your DE or your unit service coordinator to help answer any questions you have on how to fill your charter out. Or if you want to plan to go step by step through the system with them, they're happy to do that at that time with you. So we're trying to offer some more flexible options this year, given our current situation, so that we can help accommodate you and help get our process a little smoother. And related to rechartering is the Journey to Excellence program. So obviously we haven't been able to fully meet in person for a while earlier this year. And some good news is that the Journey to Excellence metrics have actually been relaxed a little bit to allow some of those virtual meetings and activities and just coordination to count towards your Journey to Excellence metrics in your program areas, your membership, and your planning metrics through that system. So that's been updated for all units. So that's all level of program. And those links are also attached in the Narragansett Council website under the rechartering page. There's a link to those revised metrics. So please check those out. So it actually makes it a lot flexible so you can meet your different goals for your Journey to Excellence. And again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to any one of our staff or your commissioners so we can help you and get you the information you need. And that's my quick 2 topics. Thanks, Adrian.
Thank you, Paul. Next up is going to be Dr. Chris Black to talk about recruitment.
Hi, everybody. Interesting times we have here. I was asked just to speak a little bit about some of the creative things we've been seeing about recruitment, because that's one of our missions right now, is to kind of spread our Cub Scout or Boy Scout message out there. We have seen some amazing things going on. Some of our families are definitely looking for things to do, get the kids out of the house, let them know that we have a safe program offered in safe environments. We are seeing some challenges with places to meet, but we're seeing some great things. I know Patty and her crew are meeting down at Rocky Point. We're getting that message out in the traditional ways. We're seeing a ton of lawn signs. We're seeing some community events when we can. We're seeing an awful lot of virtual stuff, more so than we have in the past. That's certainly a trend that we have to do. But we're seeing the council be very supportive. If you can have an in-person event at your charter, those council resources are available. The archery range, as well as the BB range, or the other event things are available, as well as the boosting. So get your message out there, get your recruitment nights to your district executives so they can make that flyer. They can geo fence that, and then really take the initiative for your unit and to share that into your community. Go on to all of the community Facebook pages, share the event, try to be as active and share that scouting message. Any good deeds, any advancement or achievements or things like that, keep telling everybody about scouting and utilize that as a recruitment tool. One of the things we're doing, I think it's Frontline, or there's a new technology that's even new to me, but the council can help you set that up so that way it further connects you into the families in your community. So be creative. I've seen some model rocket days. I've seen, things from the past. You know your communities better than anybody, and just really get out there and share it. And you know what? Be active in the council Facebook pages and share your successes with everybody else, because we're seeing great ideas from across the council, and we're all learning from it. So be proactive, share the message, and share your ideas and thoughts with everybody so we all can learn. So keep up the good work.
Thanks, Doc. Now we're going to move on to talking about Adventure Base Camp and Mr. Jorm Northup.
Hey, everybody. Thanks, Adrian. So I want to talk a little bit about what we have coming up at Adventure Base Camp this fall. We've missed out on a lot of scouting and a lot of events over the last 6 months, including summer camp, which is why it's been, so great to have kids back at camp over the past month, and to have, some great events coming up for the next few months into the fall and the winter. So coming up, I just want to highlight a few of these events. So coming up October 24th, it's a great event for Webelos. It's a chance for Webelos to learn hands-on some very important first aid skills, and to leave camp having earned the first responder adventure. So as you know, that's a core adventure. It's kind of difficult to earn, especially if a pack is meeting remotely or not as often as before. So again, they can come out to Adventure Base Camp October 24th from 11 to 12:30. It's only $15. Great chance to learn some very important, hands-on skills with the Adventure Base Camp staff. The weekend following is the 31st. It's Halloween. We know that families are pretty limited this year on what they can do safely, what they're comfortable doing as far as trick-or-treating. So we are offering a chance for families, for scouts, for friends, scouts or otherwise, to come out to Adventure Base Camp on the 31st and to take part in the trick-or-treat trail. So we're going to offer the trick-or-treat trail during 2-hour blocks throughout that Saturday. So it's going to be one from 10 to 12, 1 to 3, 4 to 6. Come out with the family, hike the trail at Adventure Base Camp. There'll be some contactless trick-or-treating. There'll be some activities, and there'll be some staff in costume running around. We'll have some crafts. We'll have some campfires going with spooky stories, hot cider. So come out, wear your scouting appropriate costume, and we'll have a great time. Make sure you register in advance for that, because space is limited. So we want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to come out. So make sure you register. It's free for adults, but adults do have to sign up also. And then finally, the last thing that I want to highlight at Adventure Base Camp is the Open Adventure program. It happens just about every Saturday. It happens in the afternoon from 1 to 4. And it's a chance for scouts and families to come out either as a group, with their pack, with their den, alone. They can come out for the whole afternoon. They can come out for just an hour, and they can take advantage of everything that's offered at Adventure Base Camp. So that includes the BB range, the archery range, fishing, self-guided nature trail, STEM activities, craft activities. And new is our BMX track, which is perfect for Cub Scouts. It's really perfect for anybody of any age, so Cub parents, any age, any skill level. It's a really great track. It's out in the woods. It's a dirt track surrounded by trees. So kids that are kind of better riders, they can get a chance to, do some hills and some jumps, while the less experienced riders can kind of stick to, a flatter, slower track and, have a great time. So those are a couple of the events coming up at Adventure Base Camp. You can go to adventurebasecamp.org to get that full schedule. We're putting out new events just about every week, so stay on top of that. Stay on top of the council Facebook page and the newsletter for updates, and feel free to reach out to myself with any questions. All right, thanks.
Joram, we do have one question. For those units that are in Massachusetts, particularly PACs, and they can't travel to Rhode Island right now because of restrictions, are there any activities that they may be able to partake in at Norse or Cachalot?
Yeah, so that's been a big challenge. So Norse and Cachalot, while they're still closed for overnight camping, as long as EEE is still concerned out there, the camps are open for PACs or troops to come out for daytime activities. And I am working with the alumni associations at Cachalot and Norse to try to come up with some programs kind of similar to what we're running at Adventure Base Camp, because it doesn't look like the travel ban is going to be lifted anytime soon. So we are working on getting some programs out there, and you can expect some announcements in the next week or two.
Great, thank you.
All right.
So as we know, this time of year, we usually have our good turn of scouting for food. So to talk about what's going to be transpiring this year, we have Mr. Carl Pepino. Carl?
Thanks, Adrian. As you know, we have a lot of information to discover, to go over, and I prepared my remarks. And if you could bear with me, I'd like to read what we have that's going on for Scouting for Food for the next 2 or 3 minutes. Since 1988, the Scouts of Narragansett Council have helped feed families in need by collecting nearly 10 million pounds of food. The Yearly Good Turn is the area's most impactful food drive and the largest annual Scout service project. The Scouting for Food drive will happen this year with some significant changes. Under the guidance from the Massachusetts and Rhode Island Department of Health, the Narragansett Council, the Scouting for Food Committee, and our partners at the Rhode Island Community Food Bank have made the decision to cancel house-to-house door hanger distribution and food pickup for 2020. As always, the health and safety of our Scout families and our community is most important. Many organizations faces challenges this year, including the Rhode Island Community Food Bank, Massachusetts Food Bank, and community food pantries in both Rhode Island and Massachusetts. The Rhode Island Community Food Bank relies on volunteer support and in-person donations to help feed families in need. Due to COVID-19 health and safety concerns, they have suspended in-person volunteer involvements in that food donations. Instead, they have worked with the community to identify new ways to get food to these in need. Using some of those same strategies, here's how Narragansett Council and Rhode Island Community Food Bank will deliver this year's Scouting for Food drive. When? The 2020 Scouting for Food drive will take place from November 7th through November 14th. How will it work? Our communities will be asked to support the 2020 Scouting for Food drive in 2 ways. 1, donate food online. Food banks are able to buy the items they need, most at wholesale prices. Through online support, anyone anywhere in southeastern New England and beyond will be able to purchase food items online. In turn, the food bank can distribute those items to community pantries across Narragansett Council. We are working on Massachusetts online giving too. Number 2, donate food in person. Many local food pantries are still able to receive limited food donations. We will share a list of over 100 food drop-off locations across Narragansett Council. Dropping off at select locations will limit contact between individuals and property and will directly benefit community pantries and food banks. Online contribution portals and drop-off location lists will both be found at one convenient Scouting for Food website. The link is coming soon. How can Scouts help? Like every Scout for Food drive over the past 33 years, this year's drive does not happen without a good turn from Scouts of the Narragansett Council. While Scouts will not be able to go door to door this year, we will ask that they help in other ways. Social media, number one. The best way to reach the most people. The Narragansett Council will provide customizable templates that Scouts, leaders, and families can use to invite their friends to help. We'll offer templates leading up to the Scouting for Food, and we'll explain this year's changes and prepare people to give with additional templates be provided the week of. Channel 12 TV will partner with us again and provide Scouting for Food spots. Email. For Scouts, leaders, and families who want to reach their contacts directly, customizable email templates will be provided. Remember to copy a parent or unit leader on all communication with youth. Community outreach. Units will receive lawn signs and other resources that can be displayed in their community to promote the 2020 Scouting for Food drive. Look for updates coming soon about the lawn sign pickup dates and locations. The COVID-19 health crisis has increased demand for food in our area by 50%. This year, more than ever, our neighbors need our help. While we cannot collect food door to door, we are looking forward to facing the challenge and providing our annual good turn to help the community. We ask that every pack, troop, team, crew take part in the 2020 Scouting for Food drive. By participating in the Scouting for Food good turn, together, we in the Narragansett Council can show our communities and other Scouts that we haven't forgotten the principles that made the Boy Scouts of America strong. Stay tuned to the Narragansett Council Facebook page for important Scouting for Food updates in the coming weeks. We expect all units to get involved. Thank you for your involvement over the past 33 years of our food drives, and we look forward to continued success in our 2020 Scouting for Food drive. If you have any questions, you can reach Joram Northrup, the program director, and his email is capital J, small case ORAM dot capital N, small case ORTHUP at scouting.org. Thank you.
Thank you, Carl. So our final topic for the hot topic section of our general part of Roundtable is youth protection training. And to cover that, we have Mr. John Blanchard. John? John, you need to unmute.
I know, I thought I had. Okay, there I am. Hey, hello, everybody. When we first joined Scouting, one of the things we had to do was take youth protection training, which is good for 2 years. Or you can take it at 1 year, you can take it anytime. But at 2 years, it has to be renewed. You might think about it as like your driver's license. It has an expiration date. You need to retake it before you start to get involved in Scouting again. Parents expect their sons and daughters to have a safe Scouting program. And that means that we keep our up to date on all of our safe Scouting practices. If your YPT is expired this year already or will expire in the next 2 months, please take it now, as there's literally tens of thousands of people nationwide trying to retake it on the online site. Keeping your YPT up to date will certainly help your unit in their rechartering effort this year, which I think it's been mentioned, the last turn-in date is supposed to be November 21st to help out everybody in the council. If you don't know when your YPT expires, your unit leader should be able to tell you, or you can look on my.scouting.org. If you've forgotten your username or password, please don't create another user ID, as that will not correlate to the council records, and it'll just cause some problems down the road. Go to the website and follow the different prompts to reestablish your username or your password. When you go to take your YPT, take the mandatory YPT. Don't take the recommended YPT course that's listed on the same page. Only if you want extra credit. It won't get you to satisfy your certificate if you take the recommended YPT, just the mandatory one. There'll likely be no YPT live trainings this year. What we do have is the Zoom YPT, and the ones available on the council website are November 18th and December 11th. I'm not sure, there might be room in October 15th, but I kind of think it may have been filled up, but you can try it out. Please keep in mind that the Boy Scouts of America have probably the finest youth protection program in the country that's recognized by federal agencies and other national child advocacy groups. If you're having some troubles with the YPT getting online, I will try to help you out. I'm not a computer expert by any means, but you can email me at foxblue@verizon.net. And thanks so much for listening, and keep on safe scouting. Thank you.
Thank you, John. So that wraps up our hot topic section for Roundtable this month. What we are going to be doing is moving into talking about our safety moment for the month. And for the safety moment on the month, what we are going to be talking about is digital safety and online scouting. So as scouting continues to move towards the virtual and online platform, it is still our obligation to keep our youth safe. Now, the following guidance applies to online activities as well as meetings and as well as our in-person activities that we were doing before. So start off with, make sure we follow all youth protection policies. As John just indicated, we need to make sure we're up to date on that as well. But we want to ensure we have 2-deep leadership for online activities and meetings. And the ban on one-on-one contact between adult leaders and youth apply to all interactions, whether they're in person, online, a web conference, text, or any other form. We want to use online platforms with good safety and privacy features. So typically business-oriented conference platforms tend to be better at this than a gaming platform. You want to regularly review your chosen platform's security features. To help avoid unauthorized visitors and other security issues, you may want to consider the following. Use unique meeting identification numbers for each session. So this way here, somebody can't use an old number to join into your meeting or activity. Use password features for all meetings. If available, use a waiting room feature to manage access to your meetings. Disable features that you won't need, such as screen sharing by non-hosts, private chats, and whiteboards. And do not publish meeting invitations via public forums. Next, do not record online activities or meetings that include youth. Recording of meetings and activities that are adult only are at the discretion of the local council. And lastly, make sure you safeguard personal information. If you collect a person's information online, for example, through web forms that you use to register people for online meetings, then you should post a notice or disclosure at the point of collection describing how you will be using that information. Meeting organizers must keep such information private and not share a youth's personal information with anyone except for that youth's parent, guardian, or unit leader responsible for tracking advancement. So that's what we have for digital safety and online, and there are resources you can find at scouting.org if you do a search for digital safety and online scouting. So at this moment, we're going to be moving forward into the Cub Scout breakout, so to speak. And I'm going to be passing off to Patty Gom, Martin Gom, and Miss Karen Simpson to talk about family involvement.
There we are. Hey, everybody. This is Patty Gom. I'm the Cub Master, Pack 1 Warwick, and also your Roundtable Commissioner in the Southwest Service Area, along with, on the camera? Okay. Hi, Karen Simpson. Been around with Roundtables for many years. Just not used to this format, but we're going to work through it and give you the best that we can. Patty? Martin? Okay, we're going to start tonight with a video that National put out about how to welcome new parents and families into your pack. So let's see how this works. It's coming. You lost it.
No. I clicked it. I said, share it. There we go.
Among all the challenges that 2020 has presented to us, there's one thing that is a constant, one thing that is unwavering, that the Scout Oath and Scout Law are universal truths. Lisa Wiley, the Volunteer National Cub Scouting Chair, and I, along with all the volunteers and professional leadership of the BSA, want to thank you for the extra efforts you are doing to provide scouting, not only to your family, but to your community. Your efforts make a difference and make for a better world. I am so glad that you are here and that you are part of Cub Scouting. Welcome to Roundtable. The topic for this Roundtable is welcoming new families. In this session, we will cover some quick tips on how to do just that. Let me start off by saying that so many of our Cub Scout packs do a great job. When new parents join, they overwhelmingly say that they feel welcomed and that they found the joining process easy. So you may ask, if we're doing such a good job, why do we need a roundtable session about it? Well, just like a pocket knife, the more we use it, the more we need to sharpen it. Consider this roundtable as an opportunity to sharpen your knife when it comes to welcoming new families. We won't cover official recruitment events or how to get people to those events. This is a focus on the first several interactions a new family has with your pack. So step number one is to create a culture of fun and friendship for adults and parents. Often in Cub Scouting, we talk about making it fun for our Cub Scouts. For this session, consider how to make things fun for adults and parents. When parents see leaders and other adults having fun and developing friendships, it becomes the single largest motivator for them to want to stay involved and perhaps be leaders. Take your monthly pack committee meeting, for example. Don't call it a pack committee meeting. That name alone sounds boring. Instead, have monthly parent meetings. That name change alone creates a very welcoming message. Is the location welcoming and perhaps even fun? Have a come as you are policy instead of uniforms. Maybe it's on the weekend instead of a busy school night. Here's the real trick to making it fun. Know your parents and ask what they like to do. Don't be discouraged if not everyone shows up every time, but make this monthly get-together something that parents look forward to because they get something out of it. A tip from the experts: make sure that you focus on the business of the pack during these meetings. If this only becomes a social event and the business of the pack gets ignored, it will have very negative consequences. All right, so now step number two is to have new parents greeted, welcomed, and onboarded into the pack. If your unit has a new member coordinator and welcoming team, this is their role. Now, I know what you may be thinking, another leadership position to fill in my pack. But here's the good news. You probably already have this person or several of these people in your pack. Don't worry about this as an official position. Think of it more as what needs to get done is to welcome parents. And that can be done by more than one person. Who are the most outgoing and friendliest adults in your pack? Welcoming families into your pack should be a fun activity and something easy to do. Adults who are naturally outgoing and friendly are usually happy to take on this role officially. This is also a great topic to bring up at one of your super fun parent meetings. What could your pack do to go over the top to welcome new families when they join? Perhaps thinking of your experiences outside of scouting that really made you feel welcomed will help spur some ideas. Brainstorming these ideas at a parents' meeting will lead to some great ideas that you can put into practice. Now, our third step is to have a defined minimum level of participation from all parents. This answers a very important question. What do you expect from a parent? Expecting every parent who joins to become a fully trained registered leader is an unrealistic expectation. Yes, we need parents to serve as leaders, but for those who don't have the right skill sets to be a leader or don't have the availability, what expectations do you have of them? Are these expectations clearly defined? Consider these 3 levels of involvement for parents. The first level is being an active parent and just helping out. What level of participation do you expect from every parent? For some packs, it may mean that each parent is expected to assist with at least one pack activity, such as a blue and gold or Pinewood Derby. Knowing what each parent is good at will help bridge their talents with tasks that you need help with. This is where parent talent survey comes in handy in the parent orientation meeting. Now, the next level is being a registered volunteer. This means that a parent is willing to complete an adult application and be registered with a PAC. At this level of involvement, parents may primarily be focused on tasks that directly impact their child and family, and that's okay. Don't expect everyone who is a leader to automatically care about everything scouting. Registered volunteers get access to more tools in Scoutbook and are officially members of the BSA. The third level of involvement is being a leader. Now, I purposely refrained from using the word leader in the previous levels because being a leader means going above and beyond. This is a level where a parent starts to care about scouting outside of the impact it has on their own family. They start thinking about the good of the pack as a whole and the long-term success of the program. These levels help us realize that every parent can contribute at different levels and that we appreciate everyone who helps out. Think back to the first step of building a culture of fun and friendship. Not every parent has a home or work life that allows them to volunteer. This doesn't make them less valuable. In fact, they may feel a little guilty that they can't contribute, and this negative feeling may lead to them dropping out of scouting altogether. A way to prevent this is to make it fun for them when they can participate and let them know that you are glad that they are part of the pack. Our last step can now be completed. Once we have a fun and friendly culture, we have 1 or 2 people who can welcome new parents, and we have a minimum level of expectation for parents. It's now time to put a plan of action together. Now, write down all the things that a new parent needs to know when they join. Now, take that list and prioritize it. By prioritizing it, you may discover that there are some things that they need to know, but not right away. For example, a new parent will need to know how to sign up for the October campout and how to get to the camp, but they may only need to know the date and cost for right now. Once you have brainstormed all the things that a new parent needs to know to get completely acclimated into your pack, build a timeline of when information is given to them. Do not put everything a parent needs to know in a welcome packet and expect them to review it all. Start your timeline with before they join. What basic information does a parent need to know about your pack before they join? The most basic information would be when and where do you meet? The information that you label as before they join should all be information that is on your pack website and social media pages. How long your timeline is will be up to your pack. Now, a tip from the experts on this subject of communications is make your communications singular and topic. For example, avoid emails that have all the information from the next 3 events, along with the parent talent survey, the campout registration link, and directions to the scout shop. That's a lot. The subject line should be direct and specific, and the content should only be about one thing. Remember, you can set up meeting notices ahead of time in Scoutbook. And remember these 4 steps. Make it fun for parents, have official greeters, develop a minimum level of participation for your parents, and lastly, create your timeline of information. Now let's take time to discuss and share ideas with each other. Take time now to consider the questions that are on the screen for the remainder.
Okay.
I look forward to seeing you next month.
As soon as that shuts off. I guess I'm gonna have music playing in the background.
Sitting on the pause button. there, just talk.
All right. Hello, everyone. I hope that video helped you guys out a little bit, kind of refresh your mind about how to welcome new people into the pack, what to do, how to kind of set that up. I know in this time of COVID, it's a little different. We can't have those big meetings. We can't have those big recruitments where everyone comes in. But this is also a good time for you to do that one-on-one with each parent that brings their child in and have a meeting with them outside of your meeting area. Things I can't ask you, but how many of you are meeting in person would be a good thing? Or do you have a meeting place to meet at? I hope a lot of you have figured that out by now. If not, you always have your online Zoom. But one thing you want to talk about is your families. Please remember that all families are mom and dads. We have single parent families, we have grandparent families, we have aunts, uncles that are taking that. One thing I do in my pack is I don't call them moms and dads, I call them adult partners. That way, no matter who we're talking to, the child doesn't feel left out by saying, I don't have a mom or I don't have a dad. So everyone's an adult partner. So if you can kind of put that into your vocabulary when talking in the scouting world, that would be extremely helpful. Also know that your families are going to help nurture those scouts and bring them to their meetings and help them with their activities if you ask them to. So make it very clear what you need them to do. Your leaders will be doing that, but you also, as a Cub Master or a leader, need to talk to your parents. And those connections are really, really, really important. At every meeting for my pack, I have to meet all their parents outside our meeting place because I have to do a temperature check. And as I'm doing the temperature check with the scout, I'm also asking, hey, how you doing? Is there anything I need to know? Or can you stick around? We have some information to go over while the kids are in their dens. That's a really good thing to be able to do at the beginning of the meetings. I used to do it when they all came into the meeting place before den meetings. Can't do that anymore. So this is my next way. And now I'm going to give you to Karen, and she's going to talk a little about a few other things about families.
Okay, some more things about families. We do want to make sure that you can get as many family members as possible that will help out with the kids. Obviously, a lot of hands it's a lot easier to run any kind of meetings if you have more people helping you. One of the things we want to really make sure is that it's fun. We always try to make sure that the kids are having fun, that the scouts are having fun, but we want to have it so that the parents are also having fun. As you know, whether you're at work, whether you're volunteering, whether you're playing baseball, soccer, scouting, it's a good idea to always have something so that the parents are enjoying themselves, because you have to keep in mind, the parents are the ones that are taking the scouts to these meetings. Kids aren't old enough to drive yet. If the parents get there and it's just a boring time for them, whether it's at a meeting, a camp out, an adventure that you're doing with them, you're not going to have as much involvement as you could. So try to make it that the parents get involved. Now, more than likely, a parent is not going to say, "Ooh, take me, take me. I want to be a volunteer. I want to help out." We all know that that doesn't happen as much as we'd like it to happen. So I think Patty just mentioned it's important that you ask the parents to volunteer. Tell the parents that you need help on certain things. Explain to them what you want. And if they don't show up or they're not there the next time, call them and ask them what you could do to help them. It's important that you have the parents go to training, which will help them realize what it is that they have to do. A lot of times when you say to parents, "Oh, I want you to volunteer to do this," if they're new to scouting, they have no idea what to expect. So you want them to have an idea of what is expected of them, and I think they'll be able to do a much better job if they do know what's expected, and they'll be able to do it correctly. As with everything else, we all have our ideas of how things should be done, and not everybody does things the way that we may want to do them or that we may actually do them. The one thing you want to make sure is that you're always thankful to any of the help that you get. Please don't criticize anybody. You may not want to say, "Well, that's not how we do it. This is how you should do it." They'll learn. They'll see the reaction on the kids, and you'll get a much better turnout from the parents if they know what they're doing, and they'll be able to help out a lot better. The way that we have the advancement set up, we want to talk about parents with advancements, what they should be doing as far as ranking with the lions, the tigers, the wolves, and the bears. It's the parents that can sign off on any of their advancements or any of the adventures that they actually work on. In this time with COVID, I'm sure that a lot of the adventures are not being done or are not being complete at every meeting. Time is of the essence, and when you've got kids and that have to be so far apart, you might not be able to do as much as you normally would do in a normal time. So, you know, a little more emphasis may be on parents that they would be signing off and actually helping with some of the adventures that normally would be done in a den meeting. So once again, make sure that the parents are aware of what is expected of them. I'm sure they're there with open arms and will help any way that they can. They just need to know what it is that they need to do. With the arrow of light or the lead blows, more of that would be falling onto the hands or onto the shoulders of the actual den leaders. They will be a lot more involved with the kids than the parents would be. But once again, we'll never say no to any type of parent involvement. Please, if you want to help out, by all means, you're more than welcome. A couple of other things. As I said earlier, if you're asking parents to help out with something, be specific on exactly what you want them to do. I believe in the video that we just watched, they mentioned about blue and golds, Pinewood Derby. One of the things that you probably will scare the parents away and they will go running as fast as you can imagine is if you walk up to a parent and say, hey, what are you doing on, November 49th? Would you like to help with the Pinewood Derby? Well, no, not actually help with it, but how about running the Pinewood Derby? Way too much, way too much. We want to say, can you help weigh the cars? Can you help the kids make a car? Give them a specific task, and you'll get a lot more attention from the parents, and you'll get a lot more parent involvement. Same thing with the blue and gold. It's very difficult to say to someone, can you run the blue and gold? Some of the parents might not even know what a blue and gold is, so you may have to be a little more specific on that. But ask them to do a specific task, not to run the whole event. Encourage the parents to ask questions. A lot of times you're asking them to volunteer for something, and they may be afraid to ask what exactly is involved. So be very, very specific in asking what you want them to do, whether it's to help out with the den, whether it's to help out with the project, whether it's to help out with the camp out. And I think probably one of the biggest things is once you've asked the parent to do something, if they've completed the task or if it's at the end of the year when you're celebrating, the end of the year time, make sure that you recognize the parents for what they did. I mean, we all like a good, attaboy, attagirl, and a nice pat on the back. And I think to keep the parents involved with helping out, I think it is very good that you recognize them, and that will probably encourage more people to step up and help out a little more. Patty? All right. We just have to move, just so you understand, Tara and I are in the same room about 6 feet apart. So we have to adjust the web camera, first to her, then to me, and back and forth. So to wrap this up, we had that nice video. Karen went into about the advancement, about how families are. Now, how can they help? Different things they can do. Like if your den is having a special project going on, say your bears are doing super science, and you find out that one of your parents, they love to do experiments. Maybe we could find a way for them to help do that. Now, I do know in our new world of worlds, you have to have your stable groups and you can't be having people coming in and out, but maybe they could give some ideas to the den leaders and then the den leaders can carry it out. We have to take it a little bit differently than we normally would in this day and age. If you're going to provide refreshments, kids love to have snacks. Please note, they have to be individually wrapped, preferably store-bought. But if you're going to home make something, you're going to have to put it in some sort of individual container for the kids to take. No more can we put all the cupcakes on a table and they can go grab one, or a big bowl of chips. Doesn't work anymore. But individual packages of water, bottles of water, or individually packaged snacks would be okay. Also know that you might have to do some things at home. And this is what Karen said, you're going to explain to the parents what they need to do and have them work that project at home, and then bring the finished project back or take pictures of the child, of the scout doing what they're doing. When it comes to advancements, give the advancement to the adults and let the adults give it to the child. And you might have to do this in different ways, because again, our PAC meetings aren't going to look like they normally did with our limited amount of people we can have in a group at one time. So you're going to have to be creative. Last spring, when it was time for me to hand out all my advancements, I mailed a ceremony and the rank to every single family, and I asked them to present it to their child. So there's lots of ways to get around these things. Just working with your parents, making them feel appreciated, and talking to them. Hey, how you doing? Everything going okay? Is there anything you need? What can we do to help you? And they will help you time and time again. And that right now will conclude our part of the Cub Scout. Oh, wait a minute. We have a commercial. Back to Karen. Okay, as we were talking about earlier, getting parent volunteers, getting people to help out as best they can in training. I just want to remind everybody that this weekend at Champlain for Rhode Island, for Rhode Islanders, we're having the Baloo training. And one might say, what is Baloo training? So Baloo is our basic adult leader outdoor orientation. We normally have it twice a year. For the past year or so, we have not been able to because of COVID. This time around, we are. However, space is limited to the first 15 participants. I believe that it's going to close as far as how many people can come. I believe tomorrow or Thursday. So better check on that. It is first 15. There will not be any walk-ins. I know in the past, I've been doing this Baloo training for many years as course director. Patty Martin been on staff for many years, and we'll be back again. I know in the past we have had people be able to walk in. However, at this point in time, we cannot allow that because of COVID and because we have to limit how many people can go there. We will be staying overnight, Saturday night into Sunday. We will be camping. We are not able to use the cabins. Some of the things that you'll be learning at Baloo is, first of all, you would need this training in order to take your scouts camping, and it has been open that we can go camping now. We just want to make sure that you're going to take your scouts camping in a COVID-friendly environment. So you'll be learning a lot of different things. Of course, some of the things you're going to be learning will be, first aid, safety. We'll talk about aquatics. Let's see what else we do. Just a lot of different things that you'll be able to use at 40 camping. And of course, we'll have a fun-filled campfire at nighttime for everybody. And the program should end around 11 o'clock on Sunday morning. So please, this will be I'm not sure when we're going to do it again, but this is for Rhode Island residents at Champlain this weekend. Registration is at 8 o'clock in the morning. We begin at 8:30 for the program. So hope to see you there. Okay, thank you much. And with that, we'd like to I'm getting dizzy. We'd like to thank you all for joining the council roundtable this month. I hope you got something out of this family involvement and family participation section. And now I'm going to give it back to Adrian. Or not? Hello.
Well, that's a blast.
Looks like we lost Adrian.
Oh.
James, you got the shot straw.
Adrian double booked himself tonight, so I think it's up to you guys to finish up. If you have any other questions or comments, feel free to throw them in the Q&A. We want to again thank you for joining us this evening. And
Questions through the web.
other than that, enjoy the rest of your night.